So, all right, guys, we got Jacob.
Jacob,
Summers.
congratulations.
Thank
Two
you.
wins on camera. Love to see it.
That's it was phenomenal. It's super fun. This is actually my first time playing competitively. I was gonna go and
That's so crazy.
I know it's I've been playing this game since I was.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
You weren't in the tournament originally, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, you were one that was texting. They were messaging this morning saying, "Is it worth coming down?" And I was messaging back. I was like, "My gut feeling is that yeah, you'll get in." And so
That's what we thought too. I was
Yeah.
actually came down with my best friend, and he was like, "Hey man, if you don't get in, there's a ridiculously high chance you'll get in because some people are gonna just have things to do.
right,
People are gonna be sick or something like that." He's like, "Just come down, because if you don't, I mean, you can just be my Rocky coach." I was like, "Okay, fine." But
Nice.
I came down, and I was super excited to hear that I was already in the competition. So
I believe I'm not sure. You might want to talk, but I think last time once you get to 4-0, you can draw in, right? Depending on how it goes.
That's real touchy.
Yeah.
It's real touchy.
honestly, I probably wouldn't do it.
Wouldn't do it.
I love playing. I love the experience of playing. It's
Yeah.
it's something that brought me out of a pretty bad spot in my life, the game. So it's something that I respect a lot, and I would
That's awesome.
I'd definitely
Awesome.
rather lose playing a good game than just take a bye or anything.
So, well, let's get into the deck list. This is a spicy domain list.
Yeah.
So explain it to us. Like
So the aspect of it is that I used to play a lot of Hearthstone before when Magic was. I know it's a laughable thing.
No. My group that I got into Magic with as well, they're very much into Hearthstone when I first got in.
So I started playing this. I started playing a lot of Warlock, and they have a deck. It's a phenomenally fun deck to play. It's called Zoolock, and so
Oh yeah.
I played a lot of toolboxy style cards in the main deck, and I was like, man, if there's something I could do to play toolboxy, but there was nothing that could. I mean, I didn't have fetch lands until MH2. I'd much rather have wooded foothills than I would verdant catacombs, but it works. I don't know if you see the lands. I did math out my behind end to figure out exactly the percentage to where I had roughly the exact. Whenever I needed to be able to fetch, I would fetch for the color I needed.
Yeah.
I don't know. You guys didn't get to see my third game, but I played against Guru Panza. And I went 2-0. I mean, that shows the resilience of this deck. It's got graveyard synergy a little bit. You're going to see that it has a 2 of that wonderful card that got printed. It's not getting enough love, personally, in my opinion, but we have Priest of Fellrights, the unearth ability to be able to not only sacrifice itself, you get 2 reanimations out of it, and it's good in the late game. It brings back things like things that get sacrificed anyways. You got evoke triggers on Grief and Fury that are fantastic. In fact, I think you saw
the Fury
won me the first game, even though there was a bit of a misread, which I personally think I had something for it. The top, I think I could have spaced it out. His deck kind of is a burst deck. I knew what he was playing as soon as I saw turn 1 Grief Rebound. I had seen he is a fan of a person that I watch play Magic, and I was like, I think you know what he's playing. So his deck was kind of burst. He went down to 5 cards, and I think that's. But the deck list itself. So Ignoble Hierarch. I mean, it's just in this deck where it's primarily green-red. It's just a better Noble Hierarch in this case. Dragon Rage Channeler. It doesn't seem like it, but you can get Domain, or you can get Delirium quite easily. Discarding stuff to Kavu's triggers. You can get instants and sorceries. You're always wanting to cast those, and you can easily cast those off of probably one of my favorite cards in the entire deck, which is Shardless Agent. I've loved that. It's one of my pet cards. And so I went through and I made sure I had a 3 copy of them, and they hit Lightning Helix, Thought Seize. Prismatic Ending is a rough one for me, but it can hit things like Tormod's Crypts, and people aren't ready for it. People, like you saw, he put 4 Leyline of the Voids in his deck. My deck isn't a graveyard deck. As soon as they see Priest of Fellrights, they're like, oh, I got to put in Graveyard Hate. That's what's so great about a Menagerie deck, or a deck that has a ton of different really good, just solid effects on their own. It's so hard to sideboard against it, and that's what I've seen every single time I've played this deck from game 1 all the way to this game here. It's just so hard to sideboard, and if you look at my sideboard, it pretty much hits everything.
Yeah.
Cindervine hits any kind of blitz style deck that likes to play a bunch of non-creatures. It also hits Blood Moons because you can sacrifice it and destroy an enchantment, and my deck plays basic mountains and forests and whatnot. Void Mirror hits any kind of Eldrazi Tron. We saw that in the first game. I just absolutely dominated. And I don't know if you saw that. I held it up to the camera because I didn't know if that
No, we saw it.
Dude.
We were talking about it.
Look,
Yeah.
and then, I don't know if you guys could see from the top-down view. I mean, he cut.
Yep.
Opened both hands.
Yep.
Void Mirror and 2 lands, and I said keep.
Yeah.
It's just-
I was
Connor
sitting here
he
and just
literally
going like,
has-
how do you look at a hand of 7 with a Void Mirror and Mullet?
Yeah.
Even if you have one land,
You can still draw.
yeah, you're like,
I
I'm,
was a little in dismay because I feel like my opponent didn't think about it enough because he went and played Chalice on 1. I was like, that is such a misplay, but I'll I'll extort it. But I think the biggest thing is that this deck is just so resilient. No matter, and I'm not gonna lie, I saw Territorial Kavu, and I mean that's the only domain card in this entire deck, but it's such a centralized part of this deck. I mean, Kavu is able to dig for cards that you need if you get land heavy in a hand. I mean, I play 21 lands. Granted, there's 6 fetches in there, so there's only 15 mana producing cards, other than Ignoble. Like, it can dump cards that you can't cast. A lot of people like to toss in. I mean, I was playing another kind of style Blitz deck. He tossed in a Void Mirror, and I was like, all right, well, guess I'm just gonna cast. What I eventually Prismatic ended it, but it doesn't stop it because there's so much more to the deck than just a singular. Oh, I'm gonna play Cascade. I'm gonna play Living End. Because Living End, oh, Void Mirror.
Right.
Blitz, well, Cinder Vines. You play a bunch of non-creature, you're gonna get pinged. Surgical Extraction and kind of combo deck. I mean, I tossed in Surgical Extraction in that first game, and I was hoping, oh, I can just hit a Tron land. And I got Flame Blitz for Planeswalker / Control matchups. It can be cycled away if I need it to for an extra draw if I already have one on the field. Sanctifier on deck. That's the only one that I was a little iffy about, just because I do play black and red cards that I kind of want to bring back from the graveyard. But against stuff like Kroxa, I've been seeing Kroxa and Turok and Ragavan, and they're so easy to remove in this deck because you have Drown in the Lock, you have Lightning Bolt, you have Prismatic Ending, you have Lightning Helix. There's so much removal in this deck. I mean, Fury. There's so much removal in this deck that exiling it is.
Yeah, and Sanctifier, if they cast Kroxa and it goes into the graveyard, it's just gone then.
Gone. I mean,
right?
it ruins a lot of their play. And so I'm not gonna lie. I'll sit down and I'll think about a concept and I'll build a deck. I have tons of deck lists on Mana Box in my phone. I go through and I really want to build one. This one, I sat down and I was just playing MTGO, and I sat down. And I was like, man, this is a cool concept, this domain thing, because I had seen it pop up a few times. They play Goyf and a bunch of different stuff, Shardless Agent. But I think the fact that this deck is so unique, and it's, again, like you said, it's a spicy deck.
Mhm.
And I know that when you were like, I want a spicy deck up here for the first one, I was like, I've got it. I have the deck for you. Because honestly, I mean, Nissa, Voices Zendikar, a lot of, when I was talking to people about this card, they were like, really? Is that really worth it?
The viewer said, we want the spice.
Hey, I'll give it to you. I mean, I don't know if they can see the deck list. Can I read through the deck list for them? Oh,
yeah,
we
we
have all
read
the
read through it
we
every
read them
single
all.
time.
Absolutely. I mean,
Yep.
Dwathi Voidwalker. I mean, a fantastic card. I think it fits well into this deck. It's a very very fun card, and the ability to honestly, I thought about it. There was a Void Mirror on field. I had been exiling all this. It was that Blitz deck I played round 2, and he put a Voidwalker or a Void Mirror down, and I was like, oh shoot, I can't do anything about that right now. I don't have white to cast Prismatic Ending. But then I played Dwathi, and then it was exiling all his instants. He had
Dragon Rage Chandler.
no, it was actually I mean, yes, he did have that on field. That or it was a Delver,
Mm-hmm.
a Delver of Secrets. But I think he had
Murktide Regent.
Murktide Regent, and he couldn't cast it
It's keeping
because he
everything
was
out of the
keeping
graveyard.
everything out of the graveyard.
Oh,
Couldn't
yeah.
delve anything away.
Yeah.
And so it was, and then he exiled away Misty Rainforest. I was like, I can go get I got a Temple Garden. I can go get a White Source from Prismatic Ending this. I didn't, but I could. It was a beatdown, and I think, honestly, I think that's what the deck likes to do. I think it likes to, people like to try to. I think it shines after sideboarding. I think it's the big thing. It shines after sideboarding because people have no idea how to sideboard against such a
Wide
wide
variety.
variety of things. It really does make it. It helps it.
Yeah, he's saying Void Mirror isn't good against him, but his opponent brought it in because he saw Shardless Agent, and it was like, oh, he's like a Cascade deck, so.
Yeah, that's what they thought. Honestly, they were like, "Oh, he cascaded into a Lightning Helix. I should put Void Mirror in." I mean, it does stop cascading, but So I have
You
removed
only
it.
run Charlotte's Agent for like value.
Yeah, it's straight value. I think that if there
It's
was
not like
a
you're trying to do something unfair.
nah, if that it's not like a living end or a crashing foothills. It's not like that. I'd say if anything, like you said, I think if you could kind of make this deck sum it up in a few words, pure value.
Yeah, it's just all really efficient threats, and that's what I said. It's like you just went 5 colors for every efficient threat and all the colors.
Yeah. 5 color good stuff.
Five,
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's five. It's 5 color good stuff.